guys, we are back here in Austin, South by Southwest, and we have to say a huge thank you to our sponsor, specifically right now, Blue Moon. Thank you, Blue Moon, for letting us be here, because it means we could tell you about movies like Wild Rose. I'm so happy you're here. I already told you, I loved your movie. It really just caught me by surprise because I didn't know all that much going into it, so I kind of want to go back to the beginning here, and I want to know when you two reconnected, because you've worked together before, right?
Yeah.
How you reconnected to kind of unite to make this movie.
It was actually, sometimes in movies everything goes against you, and sometimes the stars align. And this was one of the cases when the stars aligned. And Nicole Taylor, the writer, had been working on the script for a long time before I came on board, for about 10 years, I think. And I'd heard various things about it because our paths had crossed at various different times. But Faye Ward, the producer, was a friend of mine, and she asked me to read the script. And I'd actually come back from Austin, where I'd been working, and so listening to country on the radio, seeing a lot of live music, it had sort of sunk into me somehow. And at the time, the film was called Country Music, and I was like, that's fate. and I read it, and within 2 pages I knew that this character, Rose-Lynn Harlan, could only really be one person, and that was Jessie Buckley.
And that wasn't me.
Is it intimidating for you at all jumping into this? Because, I mean, not only is the singing a challenge and the performance a challenge, but this character in particular, I feel like it's so easy for her to tip the scale to being too unlikable at the beginning and then not being able to appreciate that growth. But I don't know, personally, I think you hit the perfect balance with that.
Yeah, I'm always absolutely terrified every single job that I go in that, you're not going to find all the different colours of this character and make them become as real and human and relatable as possible. But I suppose, Nicole had just written such a brilliant script, and I just wanted to eke out all those things that usually people are afraid to let be seen, those foibles, especially in female characters, and her rawness and her and she's such of the people, and Glasgow is a city of the people that I was thrilled and also terrified, but they're kind of good sauces to kind of, I suppose, launch yourself off the edge of the cliff and hope that it goes okay.
And you have to kind of show the less appealing sides as well, because that's the journey, that's the character, and that's for me, I found one of the most interesting things about the script, because it's hard, and we like to portray the best images of ourselves all the time, but the truth is that we do make wrong decisions, and we do fail, and we make mistakes, and that's what makes us human. And to not acknowledge that is to deny our humanity, and it makes it all the more rewarding, I hope, when she reconciles the two things going on in her life, on the one hand trying to bring up and take responsibility for her family, and on the other hand living out her dreams of being seen as a singer, as an artist, as someone who has hopes and aspirations.
You can't have that growth at the end if you don't have all those flaws before it. Actually, speaking of that, I love hearing about, people making mistakes and experiencing failures and overcoming them, because making a movie at any stage of your career is not easy. So do you guys have any examples throughout your careers where, someone knocked you down and you kind of had to overcome it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. But that's also if anything, they're kind of like little golden nuggets, because, well, I don't know, it hurts at the time, but it's also, I've got a little bit of a rebellion in me that kind of goes, oh, well, I'm going to take that, and something that maybe you think that I'm not capable of. I get hungry by wanting to surprise myself and surprise people that think I can't do something. But
and it's amazing the way that rejection or things that don't go the way you would like them to can sometimes lead to other things that you would never have been able to do had that not been the case.
I never really see them as they're just like, what's, like Rose-Lynn says, what's meant for you doesn't pass you by, and life is its own plan for you, and you have to be prepared to make mistakes in life and take big risks. And
yeah, and if you take risks, then sometimes they're not going to come off. But that can only. But you have to take the risks.
I feel like that's also true even when you narrow it down to making movies in particular. Were there any instances of something having gone wrong on set that wound up sparking, I don't know, something magical and unexpected?
Yeah, like more than kind of, well, because we'd worked before, you know, we had a kind of grounding of trust, and like I felt like Tom was pushing me constantly to places which I was kind of scared to go, and there was a few times when I got quite bad panic attacks on set, and like it was kind of but they were kind of extraordinary moments of actually I really learned something. And there was one scene in particular where we were about to shoot, and you know, time's ticking, and you have to just go, and you're tired, and you know, and I got a panic attack, and Tom, we went aside for a minute, and he was like, you know, that's really human. It's a really human thing. What happens if that belongs to the character? And actually, I went with it, and actually, when we shot it, it was it was a really interesting moment for me as an actress, because I realized that actually it was those things are. They're part of, at that point as well, you've bled in between the character and you, and it was just part, I just had to, it presented itself, and I had to like go with it.
But it's such an interesting thing that's a very delicate thing that you can only, I think, get to a place where you can be in that position between actor and director after you really know each other and really trust each other and know how far you can push each other.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a dangerous place to occupy, you know, and you can't be glib with that. You can't take that lightly. It's a delicate, dangerous, exciting place to be.
And this is some challenging material for your young co-stars here, too, who I want to know about working with them, because they were phenomenal in this, where, I mean, that relationship is so hot and cold. I can't imagine the challenge of directing two really young actors to make sure, you know, you're in the right moment, in the right frame of mind at the right time. So how was it working with the two of them?
It's not just me, actually. It's reliant on Jessie, on the cameraman, on the whole set to be ready to capture what they have to give, particularly with Lyle.
Because he hadn't acted before. That was his first thing, so he was...
and so, you know, Jessie was great with him, because it's just about knowing when to slip into character, knowing when to slip out, when he needed... You know, and actually we tried all sorts of different approaches, and different times were more appropriate for other. You know, sometimes he needed to hear action in order to stop messing around, and other times it was just about Jessie having a conversation.
Yeah, and capturing it without him being conscious the camera was rolling. I love those kids though, and they're so brilliant in it. And the girl who plays Daisy, you know, or Winona, Daisy is her name, is such a they were brilliant. They're a
real pleasure to have, and they added such a great energy into the scenes they were in.
They really do. I wanted to ask you guys your opinion on what do you think it is about country music that really speaks to a lot of people? I know there's probably a variety of answers, but maybe to you personally.
Well, what spoke to me when I first kind of found it was the lyrics, really. You know, for me it's all about the lyrics, and it's about these very human day-to-day moments in life that are captured in a 3-minute movie or a song, which can have a way of saying something incredibly simple with a kind of, whilst also like managing to kind of clutch inside your heart, and I can't really describe it, but it feels like it's just like these very human, honest, just normal moments which are shaved down to the kind of rust of what is in these characters in these songs, and it's about love, and it's about loss, and it's about struggle, and it's but in the like just normal day-to-day kind of things, and I love it.
Do you want to add anything to that? That was very well said.
It's hard to add to that, but I agree. I just think that I think people find it hard to be honest and to communicate often times, and sometimes what music, and particularly country music, can do is free, give a space or an ability to people who might otherwise struggle to communicate, to be very direct and very. And that's what I love about country, is the directness. It's very.
It's so
direct.
honest.
Yeah.
Like as performing as well. Like it's really changed a lot of how I approach like things, you know, because you just have to completely remove yourself and let it wash through you, and that's when it's at its best. You know, if you try and play something on top of it, you lose the special thing, which is constantly, it's so moving and changing.
Yeah.
And
Honesty, and there's like a warm quality
yeah
to it that I can't really put into words, but there's something about it that I feel like it's often a celebration of home. And
Yeah,
I really like that
totally,
feeling, and that
totally.
kind of reflects everything that happens in the movie too. I have so many more questions for you guys, but I have to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for being here
Thanks.
today, and again, a
Thanks
huge
for having us, yeah.
congratulations on the movie. Please keep an eye out for Wild Rose. Also, while you're at it, why don't you like and share this interview? This was a great time. Thank you guys again. We will see you soon with more South by Southwest coverage.